Hey, Shalom, Shalom, call halal, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, QADASH, that's giving all praise to the Most High, in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, double honors to our teachers, the elders, and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, Shalom, 244,000. Real quick, I want to go over this video. This is my, my photo reel. I obviously just did this video 2 hours ago, and it has no audio, so I'm just going to speak over it. It's going to be a voiceover of the same video. All right, I'm going to try to make the same points, and Lord, when it's edifying to the hopeful elect. All right, now it says this is from nerdstash.com. It says 6 racist white thugs viciously attack a black man over let's see what's going on there, over an unpaid tab in Indiana. Gang, quote unquote gang members. All right, now these were some bikers. Okay, they attacked this Jake in this pub. Okay, and they whooped Jake ass. All right, they whooped Jake ass. But you Jake's got to understand who your enemy is, man. If you don't enter into a bar where there's a bunch of so-called Edomites, man. And as you see right there on the back of the wall, they got Trump. They got Trump on the wall. So the best thing you can do is stay out of these establishments with these Edomites. Stay away from Edomites altogether. But our people, they're so simple. They think that they don't have an enemy. They think that, these people are their friends, and they get mad at us when we tell them the truth about Esau. And oh no, all white people are bad. Listen, they all the devil, man. Okay, I believe it was who was that? I believe that was Malcolm X talking about the snakes, and if you're on a plane with a bunch of snakes, and they all coming down this aisle, you can't trust the fact that 10 of those snakes might be friendly or non-vicious when there's 100 of them coming down the aisle, But this is let's read some of this. Grab a few precepts. It says racism is unfortunately something that has become commonplace in the United States, but which has always been, here in the United States. But this latest video footage takes things to tragic extremes. A black man in Indiana was recently attacked by a group of white bikers at a pub. The aggressors accused him of not paying his tab and refusing to pay it. I guess I'm going not fast enough. Okay, so lucky. It says, and refusing to pay it before things turned violent, despite the man having explained that he would pay his tab in due course. Ignoring his retort, the biker surrounded the guy who was wearing a safety vest and attacked him. And this is video right here. I'm gonna play some of this. I'm gonna skip over some of it where it gets real violent for YouTube's sake. But it says, as you can see above, the group starts calling him their victim with racial slurs, including the N-word. They gather around him while arguing with him about the unpaid tab. When the guy tries to leave, one holds him and says, you are paying your tab, mother effer. Suddenly, the confrontation turns physical as one of the bikers punches the black man before the entire group starts attacking him. They take his vest off and viciously throw one hit after another, and one even lifts a chair to hit him with. The crowd at the pub is left in chaos, but they are encouraging what is happening. You can even hear someone in the background saying, beat that mother effer, right? And they were saying, beat him, which just shows you the hatred of Esau. Okay, the hatred is real, man. All right, these individuals are not our friends. They don't like us. Okay, they'll never like us. Okay, and ultimately they're going to continue to be the devil, the Bible speaks of. And this is what the Lord said to the prophets, to warn our people of your enemy. You got to know who your enemy is, man. A lot of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians think it's sweet out here in America, and it's not. Okay, and a lot of you going to find out the hard way. All right, it's only going to get worse as time goes on. Okay, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get more violent, more uncomfortable. Okay. It says the attack keeps getting worse. It says the attack keeps getting worse. At one point, you can even see the victim as the men completely swarm him. When he finally reappears, they have him in a chokehold as two of them punch and kick his face. Notably, patrons of the bar later gathered in protest after having witnessed the incident. It says more details about what happened. There are two sides to every story, as if there is anything that would justify this vicious attack. The backlash, however, was immediate, and it forced the bar to delete its Facebook and Instagram pages. The bar was also closed with no information about when it will reopen. Good. After the police arrived at the scene, the victim told them that he did not want to provide information on the individuals responsible for his injuries. When he was then taken to the hospital to treat his injuries. So you see, Jake still ain't want to tell on them or whatever. But these Edomites, man, they're getting bold. Okay, they're getting bold. I did a video a couple of weeks ago going into it about how the white supremacists was talking about there's going to be a racial holy war. Okay, so these same Edomites, which the biker club was called the Outlaws Biker Club or whatever. Which that's Esau, okay? He thinks he's above the law, okay? These laws only, apply to us, man, okay? These Edomites can do whatever the hell they want to do here. That's why they get a slap on the wrist, okay? But these laws were set up to keep Jake, in oppression, to keep Jake bound, and ultimately to lock Jake up in the prison system, perpetually, okay? That's why the prison system is full of mostly Israelites. It says, shockingly, this isn't the first criminal activity that the group of white thugs has been accused of. The politician reported that the group called the Outlaws Motorcycle Club had previously been involved in a federal case in 2013. The event by saying that the case was where a member of the Fort Wayne chapter engaged in extortion and the distribution of prescription drugs in the role of operation with the Outlaws. Okay, I'm not gonna read all that, but you get the picture. Okay, now let's play some of this video so you can see this thing take place. All right, and like I said, they said 6 racist white men, but there's no such thing as white. Okay, a white man or a white woman. As you're gonna see in this video, these individuals are red. Okay, they're red. They're not white. They're red. All right, Esau, Edom.
Keep them treated like a
As you see, these Edomites.
You got
Getting out of the way.
Side party.
Look up the snap ready.
Hey, you're taking your snap.
Now go to Edomite. Now look at these Edomites. They're not white. They're red. Okay, they're red. But look how the Jake in there. I don't see where the Jake. And there you go. He went to taking off on them. Now, like I said, these are all Edomites, man. All right, but they're not white. Okay, you see this complexion right here? That's not white. That's red. Okay, that's the devil the Bible speaks of. All right, but they go to whipping his ass. Pretty much couldn't even see him for a second. Look at this guy here that got a chair back there. And none of these individuals got arrested. Look at, they got Trump painted on the wall. None of them got arrested, man. And this is a common practice here in America where Esau can do whatever they want to do with us and they get off scot-free. But if you even think about putting your hands on Esau, they trying to, give you the book, man. All right, look how red that individual is right there. That's not a white man. That's a red man. That's Esau. Okay, and the Bible tells us about these individuals. All right, but we coming into some times where it's going to get, as the racial tensions is rising, it's going to get worse and worse and worse here in America, man. Okay, it's going to get real bad here in America. So let's grab a few precepts, man, because, this is all Bible prophecy. The Lord warned us of this time that we're in right now. Okay, the Lord warned us of this time that we're in right now, where we're going to start seeing these racial tensions, explode. And that's why, the white supremacy groups talking about it's going to be a holy racial war. or a racial holy war. All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 23. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto her, two nations. Let me go up, actually, verse 22. Let's go to verse 22. It says, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. So Rebecca she got pregnant, and she was pregnant with twins, which is the birth of Esau and Jacob, which is the so-called Negroes and Hispanics, Native Indians. And then you have Esau, which is the so-called white race to today, the Caucasians. It says, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Now in the NLT, as we read right here, this is why I grabbed this a lot, because listen to what it says in the NLT. In verse 23, it says, and when the Lord told her, the sons in your womb will become two nations. From the very beginning, the two nations will be rivals. One nation will be stronger than the other, and the older son will serve the younger. Okay, so the two nations shall be rivals, and to this day we're still rivals. Okay, we're not meant to get along. I had an Edomite friend one time, and his father told my mom, he was like, black and white people are not supposed to be friends or hang out or some shit like that. He said. He never told me that, but apparently told my mom that. All right, but that just go to show you, and he was right. Okay, I ain't mad. He was right, because it's true. And needless to say, I'm not cool with them anymore. But this is why you gotta be mindful of these Edomites, bro, because they are not your friend. They are not for your turn. Okay, we go over it a little bit. It says about the twins in her womb, verse 25, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So you seen those Edomites? They were red. They were not white. They were red. Okay, they were red. Look at the individual right here with the beard. Okay, the individual in the orange shirt. All right, and the phone kept, because I was on that Newsbreak app. But the point is that they're not white. His beard is more white than his skin is. Okay, so the Lord is making it be known who these devils are. Okay, we understand through the Spirit of YAHAWASHI that Esau is a devil the Bible speaks of. It says Genesis chapter 27, verse 41. It says, and Esau hated Jacob. They have a perpetual hatred for us, man. Okay, the hatred is still pure in their hearts. It says, because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And this is the spirit of Esau. Okay, they want to slay us. This is why they jumped on him like that. They could have, it didn't have to be that many of them. Then the guy picked up a chair. They really was trying to kill him. Okay. They was trying to kill him, and this is how they feel about Jake, where they want to take you out at any chance they get. Every opportunity they get, they're going to try to take you out. And this is why the Lord put the Spirit in us to warn our people of this time that we're coming into, man. Okay? And them Edomites so soft, bro. It's like they soft as a wet paper bag. Because for all them to jump on him like that, the way it was punching and choking him, and the fact that he was not laid out cold, shows you that you Edomites ain't ready for what we about to do to your ass. This is Ezekiel chapter 35. Verse 1, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. And this is what these devils are doing. They're constantly slaying us. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, YAHAWASHI, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. It says, thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. In the NLT, it says, as surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a blood bath of your own. Your turn has come, and that's the thing. Okay, your turn is coming. Okay, you don't get to just, bring all type of hell upon us and, beat up on us and think that you're not going to get paid back for that, man. And that's, what Esau is coming to realize, that they got to pay for what they've done to us. Okay, what they've done to the world. Revelation chapter 13, verse 9, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And this is a part of our suffering. Okay, we are patiently suffering this, this mistreatment at the hands of you devils. But in the end, the Lord is going to give us that power, man. Okay, when He gives us that power, He gonna put us on top. And when He does that, guess what? It's on and popping for you Edomites, man. Let me pause this real quick. Let's go over here. I want to grab that scripture I was trying to grab right there. All right, we'll come back to that. For some reason, it wouldn't let me grab it over there. So let's grab it over here. Okay, this is Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. It says, "Be not deceived, for the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For if he soweth to his flesh, shall he of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting." And that's what you Edomites are going to pay for, man. You're going to pay for all the wickedness you've done, the good and the bad, the old and the new. Okay? You're gonna have hell to pay, man. The Most High has not forgotten what you've done. Okay? Scripture says He requires the things of the past. This is say Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 12 verse 10. "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away." So you can never trust these Edomites, man. Okay, do not trust your enemy. All right, because at the end of the day, they're gonna show you that they the devil. They're gonna show you that they the wicked, man. Okay, there's not a righteous bone in their body. All right, they were created to be the wicked, to be the devil. That's why they jumped on him like that. And like I said, I ain't seen not one other Israelite, one other Jake in that building, man. Okay, that should tell you something. If you walk into a building or you know, wherever, and it's a bunch of Edomites in there, get the hell up out of there. You know, especially if it's a bar or club or anything where alcohol is you know, related. It reminds me of you know, there's this restaurant by my house. You know, I'll go in there to get food or whatever. And you know, I went there the other day. I went in a few days ago, man. When I walked in there, it was nothing but a bunch of Edomites, you know. But when I opened that door and I came in there, they all looked up and was gazing at me, you know. And I looked at all of them and I just, you know, poked my chest out and walked through that motherfucker like what, you know, through the spirit. But, you know, it was no liquor there. Imagine motherfuckers was drunk, you know. If I'm just hanging around, I'm just going there to pick up food and leave. But if you want to hang around and have drinks and, you know, no, don't get too comfortable with these devils. Don't get too comfortable in America. This is still the land of our captivity. We were brought here on slave ships, and you can never forget that. Okay? It says, "Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith." Right? You gotta. This supposed to stick in you, man. You supposed to have this, you know, in your mind at all times. When I was growing up, when I was a child, you know, my father sat me down and we went for a ride. You know, he told me about these Edomites, and he called them Peckerwoods, or you know, but he had to sit me down and let me know about these Edomites, man, because this is the reality we live in, especially for the tribe of Judah. Okay, if you are a so-called Negro in America, man, it's crucial for you. Okay. It says, "Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come now wild beasts?" Right, you went around them wild beasts. Anybody pitying you? You know, now that club or that bar called Backlash. That's why they had to delete their Instagrams and their Facebook or whatever, because they caught backlash from that. Then they shut down, but they're gonna open back up. It says, "So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagines how to throw thee into a pit. He will not weep with his eyes. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood." And so, lucky for talking so fast, I just wanted to get all this out, you know, make them points, you know, in the short time I have. Like I said, I already did this video, but you know, it didn't save, or you know, the audio was missing. Okay, so. Yeah, man, you know, and I know that Jake probably didn't go in there by himself like that, man. He probably came in there with a few Edomite co-workers or friends, and when push came to shove, they probably was throwing punches too. They probably was, you know, they moved right out the way, all right? So this is go to show you, man, that hey, we in a time where the racial tension is increasing in America, and things are going to get worse. It's going to get real bad here, man. All right, they're going to start showing you how much they're going to start showing more of their disdain for us. Okay, they're going to start showing more of their, they're going to start showing their horns more. That's why, as you seen in that video when they was fighting, they all was red as hell. Those are devils, okay, demons. All right, those spirits were getting roused up, and this is going to cause Judah to get roused up, man. Okay, Judah shall get roused up behind this, man. It says, as you see, 6 racist white thugs, and it's probably a Jake that wrote this. All right, but it says 6 racist white thugs, and that's what they were. The thugs viciously attack a black man, which is an Israelite man, over an unpaid tab in Indiana, quote unquote gang members, and that's what you got all across America. How come none of these biker gangs never got a RICO? How come the Ku Klux Klan, the white supremacy groups, never got a RICO? Which shows you that we are disproportionately, persecuted here, man. Okay, this is why the prisons is full up of Jake. Esau get a slap on the wrist when they commit crime, but you commit and you steal a candy bar, they giving you, they throwing the book at you. And this is why the Bible says never trust thine enemy, man. But that's the point. Salakia for talking so fast. Salakia for all the, commotion in between. Like I said, I already did this video, but the audio didn't save, so I was just speaking over it. That's why I was talking a little kind of fast to try to keep up with it. But I pray it's edifying to those for elect. Double honors to our teachers, the elders, and apostles. GREATTMILLSTONE, who taught us truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to the 144,000. Shalom.